Let me ask you, when you think of the fighter, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it simple, the vanilla option, the character that you give to the new player at the table? In 2024, you couldn't be further from the truth. Wizards of the Coast has taken the classic fighter chassis, thrown out all of the clunky parts, tossed in a couple of upgrades, and in my opinion, you're looking at the most reliable and versatile martial class in the game. This is the only guide you're gonna need. We are going to break down the 2024 fighter level by level. We'll deep dive into the subclasses, and then I'll give you some awesome advice on stats and feats to pick up along the way. And as a fighter, you're gonna have a lot of those. But of course, who am I? I'm Sir Bearsworth, guiding creators, shaping worlds, and forging heroes. And as a fighter, you're gonna be the hero on the front lines, shaping the world one sword swing at a time. So, let's get into it. First things first, what is a fighter? It's a pretty vague term, I know. A fighter in D&D terms is a master of weapons and combat. We're talking knights in shining armor, elite soldiers holding the line, grizzled mercenaries who live for a fight. They are all fighters. And at least for what this means for you or your next character, the fighter in a lot of ways is the perfect martial blank canvas. Do you want to be a walking fortress donning heavy plate? A whirlwind of destruction holding a giant axe? A hawk-eyed archer who never misses? Any weapons-based warrior that you can imagine, you can bring to life with the fighter. So grab your favorite weapon and let's walk through this level by level. The 2024 fighter is front-loaded with a bunch of super awesome abilities so you can feel like a badass from the second you start playing. At level 1, you get a trifecta of awesome features. First is going to be your fighting style. This is the core part of your combat identity. Playing from afar, take archery to get a bonus to all of your attack rolls. Or you want to be a bit more defensive, the defense fighting style adds a bonus to your AC. But they added a little upgrade to it now. Anytime you increase your fighter level, you can swap out your fighting style. This just allows insane flexibility over the length of a campaign. Maybe you start the campaign as a sharpshooting archer and finish out as a sword and board frontliner. Next, you get Second Wind. As a bonus action, you take a deep breath and get ready to get back into the fight with an extra D10 of health plus your fighter level. You get one of these uses at the start, but you do get more as you level up. Nature may believe in coffee breaks, but fighters believe in just rubbing some dirt on it and getting back in there. And finally, you get access to the brand new weapon mastery system. This one is a game changer. You don't just pick weapons anymore. You learn special properties to apply to weapons you're proficient with. For example, the topple feature allows you to knock an enemy prone, while Vex can give you advantage on your next attack after you hit. You can swap which weapons have which properties on a long rest. And as a fighter, you get access to way more of these than anybody else does. At level 2, you get 2 features that define the class. First is the iconic Action Surge. Once per long rest, you get to take a whole extra action on your turn. Quick note though, you can't use the magic action. This is a small tweak from 2014 where some tables you are allowed to throw 2 spells out if you burnt that action surge. But the good thing is you get to take the attack action twice. This becomes very quickly your delete whatever's in front of me button. You also get access to Tactical Mind. If you fail an ability check, you can choose to expend a use of your Second Wind, adding a D10 to the roll. And the best part, if you roll that D10 and still fail, you don't expend the use. Even if you fail the check, you still have that safety net in your back pocket. At level 3, you choose your fighter subclass. This is where your build truly comes alive, and we'll dive into them a little bit later. At level 4, you get your first ability score improvement or feat. And get this, fighters get more of these than any other class in the game. You get these at level 6, 8, 12, 14, and 16. This right here is a huge part of what sets fighters apart from everyone else, letting you max out your stats and grab feats faster than anyone else. Talking about all of those ability score improvements just got me thinking. Do you want to increase your intelligence score IRL? At least when it comes to D&D? Then I highly recommend you take the feat, subscribe to Sir Bearsworth. I'll be doing plenty more class guides as we go forward, as well as some great DM guides, and I'm excited to see you there. At level 5, you hit a massive power spike. You get extra attack, allowing you to attack twice with the attack action. Meaning if you burn that action surge, that's 4 attacks at level 5. I think you see where this is going. You also get Tactical Shift. When you use your second wind bonus action, you can also move up to half your speed without provoking opportunity attacks. Bumping up to level 9, your defenses get a huge boost with Indomitable. When you fail a saving throw, you can just re-roll it and add your fighter level to the roll. This makes you insanely resilient against spell effects and any other nasty things that are coming your way. You're going to get another use of this at 13 and another use at 17. Also at level 9, you get Tactical Master, which lets you swap weapon masteries on the fly. Whatever property your weapon has, you can swap for the push, sap, or slow property. Buddy, the battlefield is your chessboard. At level 11, you don't get anything too crazy. You just get access to 2 extra attacks, meaning your standard round, you make 3 attacks. Burn that action surge, you're looking at 6. Your ability to just focus down an enemy, disgusting. At level 13, you get access to studied attacks. You've been studying your opponent so well that if you miss an attack on your turn, your next follow-up attack will have advantage. At level 19, you get your epic boon. And the real star of the show, level 20. You reach your ultimate form of a spinning Beyblade of Death. You now have 3 extra attacks, meaning you can make 4 attacks in a turn. I know we already brought it up before, and that's 8 with Action Surge. With your full suite of features, you are a unmatched martial force. Alright, back to level 3. It's time to specialize. What flavor of martial mastery is right for you? Let's run through them and see what piques your interest. Coming in first, we have the classic. The Champion is the most straightforward fighter subclass. The Champion fighter focuses more on passive bonuses, leading to a bit more of a point-and-click option if that's more of your vibe. At level 3, you get improved critical, letting you crit on a 19 or a 20. Just think about all of those near crits you had, now think about all of them counting as crits. You also get Remarkable Athlete, giving you advantage on initiative rolls as well as athletic checks. And a fun little thing in the fine print, if you land a crit on your turn, you get to move up to half your movement speed, without provoking opportunity attacks. At level 7, you get to add an additional fighting style to your list, just boosting your versatility. At level 10, the new Heroic Warrior gives you a Heroic Inspiration die anytime you go into combat without one, essentially giving you a free reroll. At level 15, the crits just get better. With Superior Critical, you now crit on 18, 19, and 20. You're gonna need some more d8s. At level 18, you get Survivor. The world may be knocking you down, but you are getting back up. You have advantage on death saving throws, and if you get a 18, 19, or 20, you get to treat it like you just rolled a nat 20. You also get Heroic Rally. At the start of each of your turns, you get 5 plus your Constitution modifier back in health. Asterisks, you need to be under half health or at least have 1 HP. Next up, for all of my Star Wars fans out there, we have the Psi Warrior. You use psionic energy to create shields for yourself, move objects, and blast enemies with force damage. At level 3, you get Psionic Power, granting you a pool of psionic energy die for you to use at your discretion. You can use Psionic Strike to add force damage to an attack, or Protective Field to reduce incoming damage. At level 7, you get Telekinetic Adept. Using Psi-powered Leap as a bonus action, you just get to casually give yourself a fly speed. Or with Telekinetic Thrust, you get to do your best Jedi impression, and you get to forcefully relocate an individual against their will. either knocking them down or moving them 10 feet away. At level 10, you get Guarded Mind. You gain resistance to psychic damage, and if you have the Charmed or Frightened conditioned on you at the start of a turn, you can use one of your psionic dice to end that condition on you. At level 15, you get Bulwark of Force. This allows you to grant half cover to yourself and allies. That's a bonus to everyone's ACs, and it's just a bonus action. Lastly, at 18, Telekinetic Master makes you an unrivaled psychic force on the battlefield. You always have the telekinesis spell prepared, and you don't expend a spell slot or components to use it. While you're concentrating on the spell, you get to make a bonus action attack, and you can get telekinesis back by burning a psionic die. Moving on to our perfect blend of sword and sorcery, we have the Eldritch Knight. At level 3, you get access to spell casting from the wizard spell list. And the 2024 version removes the old restrictions of 2014. You get free reign of the entire spell list. You also get Weapon Bond, letting you magically summon your weapon to your hand. As long as you are within the same plane of existence, your trusty sword is coming right back to you. Unless you dropped it in the hells. You may need to go back for that. At level 7, you get War Magic. This allows you to replace one of your 100 attacks with a cantrip, really allowing you to mix it up in the fight. Keep them guessing. At level 10, Eldritch Strike gives a creature that you've just hit disadvantage on its next saving throw on a spell that you cast. Are you seeing the combos? At level 15, you get Arcane Charge, allowing you to teleport 30 feet anytime you burn one of your action surges. And you can teleport before or after the action. And at level 18, Improved War Magic just adds to your versatility, allowing you to replace 2 of your attacks with a casting of one of your level 1 or 2 spells, meaning you still have a weapon attack in your back pocket, and maybe an action surge or 2. And finally, the creme de la creme of fighter subclasses. Say hello to the Battle Master, the tactical genius, the master strategist. At level 3, you get Combat Superiority, granting you superiority dice starting out as d8s, and allowing you to learn 3 maneuvers to bring to the battlefield. These can range from adding damage to a strike, to gaining advantage, or knocking enemies over. You also get Student of War. This is the most innocuous of any of the fighter's features, but you get access to an extra set of artisanal tools to be proficient in, and a skill of your choice from the fighter list. At level 7, a redesigned Know Your Enemy allows you to know the ins and outs of your opponent, their immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities. Burning a bonus action will give you all of this info. At level 10, Improved Combat Superiority, I know, a mouthful, increases those d8s to d10s. At level 15, you get Relentless, allowing you to roll a d8 and use that number instead of your superiority die, giving you a free little less potent hit. And last up, Ultimate Combat Superiority brings those dice all the way up to d12. Nothing too flashy, but man, does it make a difference. Now for the fun part. Let's talk about powering up your fighter. We'll focus on the 2 main paths, strength-based and dex-based. For our rough and tumble strength-based fighters, your main goal is to pump up that strength all the way to 20, with Constitution close behind. This is your classic heavy armor and even heavier weapon wielder. A couple of quick feats to inject into the build, you're going to be looking at Great Weapon Master. How the mighty have fallen, but it's still a good feat at the end of the day. It's a half feat giving you +1 to strength, and once per turn, if you hit an enemy with a heavy weapon of any kind, you get to add your proficiency bonus as some extra damage on top. You still have access to that bonus action attack if you crit or take out an enemy. Another great option is gonna be Sentinel. This feat is god tier for controlling the battlefield and protecting your allies. This lets you make an opportunity attack against any enemy trying to disengage from you or strike out at anyone other than you. And the real reason we're here, if you hit that opportunity attack, their speed drops to 0, meaning they're going nowhere. And if you do plan to wear heavy armor, I'll also sprinkle in Heavy Armor Master. Great for durability, a +1 to strength, and you reduce a little bit of that incoming damage. It'll pay for itself, trust me. For our dex-based fighters, you're gonna max out dexterity and keep constitution close by in the rear view. This is perfect for your archers or your agile finesse-based weapon wielders. If you're sticking to range, sharpshooter is your answer. Similar to Great Weapon Master, no longer at the heights that it once was, but still a very solid feat to take. +1 to dex lets you ignore half and 3/4 cover, and you get to shoot from long and short range without disadvantage. I don't care how many times the enemy used the dash action, you can still hit them. Crossbow Expert is another great one to add into the mix. If you want to move away from the traditional bows, this allows you to make shots from up close and personal, and you get to make a nice little bonus action attack as well. A couple of other essentials that are going to go a long way with your fighter. Alert is amazing for boosting initiative, so you can make sure to get into prime position. And Tough is a simple and very effective way to boost your hit points so there is no dropping you. So what's the final word on the 2024 fighter? In short, this class is a cut above the rest. It is so far from boring. It's a versatile, durable, high damage dealing martial powerhouse, now with more tactical depth than ever. Yeah, your barbarians may hit harder per attack, but with fighters, it's legitimately death by 1,000 cuts. Not to mention weapon mastery and the revamp to Second Wind, you've got so many tools at your disposal. Whether you want a tactical genius, a magical warrior, or just a straightforward engine of destruction, the 2024 version of Fighters gives you so many options to sink your teeth into. But what do you guys think about the changes? What's your favorite fighter build that you're going to be cooking up? Let me know those unhinged build ideas in the comments below. If this guide helped you out building your new fighter, then do me a solid, hit that like button. And if you want more overviews, don't forget, you can hit subscribe and be tuned in next time another one comes out. But I've been Sir Bearsworth, guiding creators, shaping worlds, and forging heroes. Now go forth, you glorious spinning Beyblade of death. I'll see you all at the table. Bye.